Okay, I think we're on the air here. All right, so when it comes to doing graphic design using InDesign, I'll always give you a template to work from. The template is it's really important to use a template. You can modify it, but I want you to start with it. The reason being is the template is actually designed. The size of it is designed to fit whatever we're doing. For the wallflower, this template here that's at the bottom of the wallflower folder, under all your subfolders, the design for it, this shape here is the best shape that we can fit on a computer screen. I've tried many different shapes. This is the best one. So it's actually been precisely measured to fit the screen. The components on it can be modified, but this actual size is what we work with. Now, I've told a few of you, if you ever want to write a longer story, you can create a second part of it on a different template, but this is the template that we use. Same thing for yearbook. Yearbook, I'm going to give you a template that is precisely the size that we need for the yearbook. So just make sure you always start from the template. Now, you'll notice that I've added a couple layers on this template. So it's called layer 1, layer 2. The layers can have names, and sometimes you'll find that useful. So if I double click on layer 1, it's just called layer 1. I can call this thing text. And layer 2, I can call it photos. Like that. Let me create another. I'll do one more layer here. Create a new layer. I click this icon here in the corner. New layer. It's coming out green. I'm going to call this thing headline. I'm even going to create another layer. I'm going to call this thing background. And I don't like that color blue is too much like the other color I've got, so let's go with orange. Now I'll go magenta. Okay. Now I've got 4 layers. The background layer right now is on top of all the other layers, which doesn't make sense. If it's truly a background, should it not be in the background? Yes? It's a rhetorical question here. So what you can do with layers is really neat. You can drag these layers relative to the other layers. So I'm going to put my background layer on the bottom. I can put my photo layer above headline and headline above text. So that's the order that I want to put them in. So now if I create a background, let's say, so I've clicked the background layer. I'm going to draw a box. You notice it's pink or magenta. If I give it a color, I'll color it magenta. That's absolutely horrific looking. Okay, we're not doing that. Let's try something a little. Okay, wait. I got an idea here. We're just going to make this real pale. Okay, so I just got something like kind of pinkish now. So I now have a background. If I put text in here, use my cursor key. I see it blinking here. I'm going to fill it with placeholder text. There we go. Now I've got my text. Let's say I want to put a photo in here. Go file, place. I just need a photo. All right, now I have a photo. And here I should be creating a new layer for my headline. Write what I want on that. Can zoom it up. Okay. Working in layers makes life a lot easier because what you can do with layers is, let's say I want to create like a pull quote. That is some component of this text I want to make it stand alone. So I want it to sit above everything else. So maybe I'll create it in headline, the headline layer, which is above everything but the photo. You can start it over here. Say I want to quote this stuff. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it in here. I can make it a little larger. I can give that font a bit of color. Then I can drag it over here. It will automatically go over top of the text and the background. And I can hide the text and the background so I can see it. There it is. It's above these things. The problem is my text is behind it. Now I saw, this is what leads to the second part of this lesson, which is called text wrap. I saw a few of you doing this with your designs. You said, okay, well, I've got something here and my text is running behind it. So I'll just put the cursor here and I'll do this. Right? And that works. That's kind of like a Microsoft Word solution to a graphic design problem. You can do that, but then what happens if you need to move your text box? Like, okay, I want to put it here. Now you got a big hole here. There's a better way of doing that. We don't have to do Microsoft Word formatting solutions. I can put this back where it was. I take my text box here, and I'm going to go text wrap. The text wrap, if you don't see it on your screen, it's under window up here. You click on window, you go to text wrap, you get this little icon here. I'll just bring it over here so you guys can see it better. Okay, so I have some choices. Right now, this is what's going on with my text. There's no text wrap. So you can see how the text is going either before or like above or below my image. I don't want that. I could choose this, which means it'll go around it. So it automatically goes around this. If I want more space, I can create a buffer here. You see how it pushes everything out? I could even unlink this so I could create just a buffer on the lower part, which is this one. I can use this also for my picture here. I click on the frame. The text is coming right under the picture frame, which doesn't look very nice. I'm just going to create a little bit of a buffer. I could even do this. Let's say I want to run this thing in between two columns like this. I can use this to create a bit of a buffer on each side. Maybe not so much on the bottom. Now my text box is sitting, or my pull quote is sitting right nicely under the, or in between all that text. What does this look like? I can show you. There you go. So now my text box is sitting nicely right in there. And I have a little buffer around here. So that's layers, and that's text wrapping. Again, the other reason why layers are important, just go back to layers for a second, is that sometimes when you have a lot of stuff on your page, it can be really hard. Like maybe I want to move this, but accidentally I'm going to move that. I'm like, oh, wait, no, I was trying to move this thing, but I ended up moving this thing. Or maybe I want to move my picture and this pull quote together. So it'd be like, okay, I'm going to go grab them and move them. Like, oh, wait, I just moved everything. So what I can do when I'm in my layers is I can lock stuff down that I don't want to move. So I want to move this and I want to move that. So I'm going to lock down the text layer. I'm going to lock down the background layer. So now when I select these things, I can just move the things that I want to move. Everything stays put. That's why using layers makes life a lot easier. You can lock stuff down. You can hide stuff. So like, let's say I want this crazy pink background, but I'm getting tired of looking at it. I can hide it, and it disappears. So I don't have to look at it. If you have a really busy background, it can be distracting, especially if you're trying to read text. Like you've zoomed in. You're zoomed in. You're trying to read this. The pink is distracting you. Hide it. Or you want to see how your page looks without the photo, you can hide that. All right, so that's layers and text wrap. These two things we use all the time in InDesign. They can make your life a lot easier. When it comes to using templates, feel free to modify. Like you'll notice this template began a certain way, but you can always take a picture and do what you want with it. So you have options, but just start from the template. Okay, so that's your second lesson. I'll give you guys another lesson tomorrow.